Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew. This is like my 7th attempt to get this right. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to start right off with one of my random comics from my spinner rack. Invincible Iron Man Annual number 3. I was all excited about it. First time they brought back these king-size annuals since, I think, 71 or 72. The previous two issues were all reprint that came out about 70 and 71. What happened is the initial annual king size, they called them back then, you had like 5 or 6 Spider-Man ones, and then the next ones would be reprints, and they went all reprint with those king size because Kirby had left Marvel and they wanted to get more of his stuff out in a variety of ways, and just in general because they were short. Kirby was just a machine. So anyway, the giant size books came out between 74 and late 75, like early 74, late 75. And they were pretty cool. And then the last couple months, they went all reprint also. Regular giant size would be 2/3 new stuff and then a reprint in the back. That was pretty much, and that was okay. When you're new to the Marvel Universe and you're a kid, you kind of dig that stuff. Well, 1976 came along, they brought these annuals, and it says all new, to be clear, in 1976. Now, the first annual that I laid eyes on was the Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 10, which I'll have to review sometime, is with Gil Kane Interiors, and it created the Human Fly. Before the Stuntman, it was a green and yellow character that another one that J. Jonah Jameson created. Somehow he never went to jail. Let's get back to this. This is one of my... I hate this book. I hate it. I was so excited when I saw it. It's got the buckler, Giacoya, but that character right there, I hate the man thing. I hate it. It's not even a character. It's more like a... it's just something that the stories all go around, and once in a while he'll affect change and sometimes he won't, and I just can't stand Man Thing. Swamp Thing's great, but so this is by Steve Gerber, and it's going to be crazy indulgent with Man Thing. Sal Buscema and Jack Abel, they're bringing their fair share of trying to make a story somewhat readable. It's just not that interesting. And you Man Thing lovers out there might just say, "Hey, you're just hating on the character," and yeah, and it's just something. The stories go all around, and I know a lot of these were like either passion plays or they were sort of stories where each issue had some kind of crazy situation that was personal, and it would either get resolved or either in a good way or a bad way. So these kids are playing Iron Girl and Spider Boy and Molecular Boy. Terrific, Cynthia. You really did it this time. He's like, go get it. Don't ask Iron Girl to play fetch. So she goes, the villainous chicken as usual. She's digging around. Of course, I don't see Spidey waiting out here to help me either. The woman always gets the dirty work. She stumbles, finds the wand, and a gator. And I lived in Florida for like 9 years, and that shit is scary. There's a lot of places that have huge ponds, and some of these gators would hop from pond to pond, and before you knew it, they were like at your apartment complex. It's freaky shit. So what happens is the girl, she drowns, it's that part there is very dramatic and, gut-wrenching. So you got, here we go, come on with the Gerber stuff. He fights these mines, don't know where they came from. And then they pop and they turn into smiley faces, and that's such a Gerber thing. It's like in the Headmen, he had bozos. In Howard the Duck, he had the knockoff of Sun Young Moon, whatever it was called. So these guys are like, we don't want you, Iron Man. You're just, you don't care about the environment. We ain't Hicks in this town. So all of a sudden, a geyser comes out of nowhere and violently drops this guy to the ground. Iron Man can't save him somehow. And he takes off, and then we're treated with more yada 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 and yada 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 yada. Ugh. Now this is pretty neat. It's so scary here, actually, where the girl, she rises. Oh, come on, man, focus, frigger. There we go. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty wild, and she's possessed by the molecule man's wand. Mom, I'm home. Oh my God! And you got Stark's car going into the man thing or the swamp thing, whatever. Changes to Iron Man. Has a perfectly predictable and boring fight with Man Thing. Ugh, such a bore. Well, Iron Man throws a Freon capsule and freezes that thing. Now this is very much out of it's either the Outer Limits or it is the Twilight Zone, where there was this kid who had this crazy power over everything, and his or her parents were like cowering before the kid. So blah blah blah. Here's something real indulgent. It's like here we go. Crappy printing too. Within the minds of Molecule Person, a frightful phantasmagory. And he goes at the bottom. I know this phrase. I know this phrase is trite, overworked, dull, but I was stuck. Suggestions welcome, Steve Gerber. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. Two minds are fighting each other. He tosses a frozen man thing into the swamp. More yappity yap. Skeleton comes, attacks, and do-de-do-de-do. See that? I think the parents got turned into dolls also in that Twilight Zone. Iron Man gets turned into literally iron, and I really love what Jack Abel brings to the table here. He like the dropouts on the fingers, it makes it look like his hand is stuck to his stomach area. So the Man Thing, everyone knows, here he comes, justifying his existence, even though we've wasted a colossal amount of pages on, there we go, da-dee-da, all goney. I hate this book. You know what? When I get the Marvel Masterworks, and I only get it because I love Iron Man so much, I skipped this. I read every story in there. Big Bang Comics is fun. It was self-published for 15, 20 issues or so, and then Image picked it up. Most likely Eric Larson, because he loves throwback comics like that. And it's just great fun. Well, it's just sort of like a Captain America, through the ages. You got the Joe Simon, Jack Kirby version. You've got the circular panels that were so prominent back then, and they're so wacky, And then, there's Newsboy Legion type guy. Then we are in the Silver Age, and this guy finds, I crushed this can without even thinking about it, but how? And you got a Kirby hand there. That's beautiful there. That's cool also. Well, then we jump into I love it, the crazy cliche of, ever since Easy Rider came out, it was then Green Lantern, Green Arrow copied it. They were like, we're gonna go on our bikes and discover America, man. And it's like, we're looking for you, doofus. No, you're just being self-indulgent. Then we get the Watchmen version, a very good Dave Gibbons feel, and I just love it. And then you know what's going to happen next? That shitty style that was so prominent everywhere, no matter what the publisher, just dreadful. But you know what? In this, it's fun. It's so fun. Okay. Doom 2099. This was a big deal. And what's amazing though is during the boom years of Marvel, they actually had like what do you call imprints upon imprints. So they had 2099. They came out with Spider-Man 99 and I think Ghost Rider 2091. And the one book that was the worst was Ravage, and it wasn't bad. It was Stan Lee, who rarely wrote anymore, and it had Paul Ryan, who is a solid draftsman, but he's not someone you would put on a badass book like Ravage was supposed to be. It was just very polite, you know, and because neither of them do badass, you know, that's just a whole different, it's a generational thing, you know, and so this is pretty cool. It's by John Francis Moore, who I'd never heard of prior to this, and penciled and inked by Pat Broderick. I spoiled page 4 for you. How you like that? And there's Doom coming from the past or the present. He doesn't know where he is, but he does know that when he's told to stand down, he says, "You dare threaten me? Don't you know who I am? I am Doom. I am Doom." Well, that's the thing with these covers. It makes it real hard to turn the pages without turning like 5 at the same time. So he's trying to 2099, much later than I expected. Can it be I have been forgotten in my own land? It is time to make Latveria remember. And at present, the big bad is Tiger Wilde. And Doom shows up, and this Tiger Wilde's so badass that he, when threatened, he takes out Doom. Doesn't kill him. Does a lot, though. Fries his face. I don't know why his face wasn't damaged in the first place, but he gets rescued up in the hills of Europe. Some, you know, camp. Not too dissimilar from where he grew up. I love that one there. Reclaim Latveria. And he says, gypsy blood bonds us fortune. Really good stuff here. Take my word for it. Now, John Francis Moore, I mean, he's not overwriting. He's giving you the information you want. He's not talking down to you. It's like he's helping fill in the reader with the first issue, but he's not stampeding on your brain like that damn Iron Man annual I just showed you. So he's kind of, you are not doomed. I am doomed. Doom's destiny was to rule. So he remembers all this stuff that I guess time travel temporarily cleared his mind of. And he goes, Dr. Doom is dead. Come on. Long live Doom. I love the redesign. Great stuff, great stuff. Only thing is, the very last year, Warren Ellis wrote it, and it was so-so, but the art was awful. It was awful. So if they were to do an omnibus of this, I don't think I would be interested because what I just said. Now, this book here, you might say, oh, this looks like Better Homes and Gardens, or this looks like some art book. Boring. No. It's actually pretty good. It's called Wordsmith. Renegade Press was Denny Lubert, who had married Dave Sim. They got a divorce. They owned Aardvark Vanaheim. And then she, I guess when they split, she formed Renegade. And what I like about this, there she is. And this is great art for the era. Wordsmith has to do with a writer who back then wrote pulp magazines, and back then you were paid by the word. And so you had to be fast, and they didn't necessarily care if you were that great as long as you brought in readers. So the author is, he's saying like, a lightning draw brings roaring thunder. Yeah, I like that. And he's saying that to himself because he's typing this all out. Our dragon won't be breathing fire anymore. In fact, he won't be breathing at all. It's like, holy Toledo, the guy sounds like he's an English actor in a bad stage play. So he's throwing out some of his writing. Just have him ask her to marry him. Will you marry me? He asked her hesitantly. Nope, I can't use it. Jeez, there's got to be a better way. My butt is sore. I'm going out for a walk. And he goes to Joe's Newsstand, who owns a lot of the, he sells a little of everything, including pulp magazines. I love the zipatone that was used on this jacket. So it's basically just, it's about a guy struggling through the Depression. And it's a fantastic period piece. I mean, both the artist and the writer have done their homework on it. And there's only 10 issues, sadly. But really cool. You might not like it, but, I dug it. So let's go to one of my favorite characters, Spider-Man Foes, that came very late in his career. This is created by Sal Buscema. This is our pal Tombstone, created by Jerry Conway and drawn by Sal Buscema. So he came up with the whole idea with the teeth and the chalky white skin. He doesn't usually dress that, though. He dresses like in a suit. And this is a late period Sal Buscema, because he's doing that really hard line inking on himself. Right now there's a power struggle. Hammerhead. I love that face. And introducing Stephen Grant, writer. Because for a while, I think, J.M. DeMatteis did it for a few years as well after Conway left. And now Stephen Grant, who's an excellent writer, he wrote the first Punisher miniseries. He's written a bunch of stuff. It's really good. There's Green Goblin. It's like, yeah. It's always seemed like Harry Osborn was always like one bad sneeze away from turning back into the Goblin. It just like, it's just it kind of got exhausting. It was annoying when his dad would conveniently have amnesia, which is a very rare thing to have, for one person to have, and a whole state. I'm just guessing anyway. But, it was always like that was a reset button. Man, that face is great. He's doing a lot of drawing in the inks as well. And Sal Buscema said that he changed his style specifically to compete with others. It's like he used a quill, I think now, where before he might have been a brush guy. I can't remember what it was, but he did switch tools. I love that guy. And this was a book that I ignored at the time because, I was tight on funds, and at the time I was going, oh yeah, another, I've read these a million times, I'm not going to buy these new Spider-Man books because they bring back Doc Ock again, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you something. Spectacular Spider-Man got great about 137, which was the first Jerry Conway, Sal Buscema issue. And about a year after this is when all that clone shit happened. So, I didn't buy any of those. Also, I guess covered. Oh, and Web of Spider-Man's good too. Excellent. It's a good read. It's just like classic Spider-Man. And that's it, everybody. And hope you don't mind me griping about the man thing. But that's it. Well, you guys have a great week. It's a Sunday night. I'm tired. Talk to you later, man. It's your pal Drew.